on a hill. We are the salt in this earth. We are the light in this earth. In the midst of a world that is acting crazy right now. Come on. You can't turn on your news this morning without hearing about yesterday a new attack in Libya. As I speak to you this morning, coalition forces are involved in a new fight. I'm not talking about Iraq, Afghanistan. And Gaddafi said, we're going to draw this thing out and make this another long war. Now, whether that happens or not, here's what I'm telling you. There's something happening in Libya. Egypt is experiencing their first free vote. Japan is trying to recover from a catastrophe. This is a very unsettling time if you just looked at the news. It is a time where you wonder, well, what's going to happen next? But if you're anchored in the Word, God has a way of speaking to us and making declarations to us to keep us focused on what is essential. And if we understand scriptural prophetic truth, while this world may get worse and worse, the church is called to get stronger and stronger. To the place where we're not going to be waving a white flag saying, Jesus, hurry up and rescue us out of here because we can't take it anymore. Jesus is coming for a church that is without spot and without wrinkle, a church that understands who she is, and her influence in this earth is great. And so, while all these things are going on, I'm expecting the next level. I could tell you testimony. I don't want to brag. I could tell you testimony of just in the last 2 weeks. Supernatural answers to prayer are coming into my life in such a quick way. And hearing the voice of God so great that I asked the Lord last night. Let me just give you one. I just asked the Lord last night. So God, I said, I just feel like I need to really share this Ezekiel 37 with the people tomorrow. And right on my television screen in big letters came up, them bones. Not even relevant to anything I'm watching. I don't even know how it got on there. But God is speaking so directly that this is an hour we need to get ready for where it is we're called to go. But watch me, watch me, watch me. This passage is going to come alive to us in a few minutes because whatever we are hoping for will only be experienced, measured by how we're handling where we are right now. Your promise may be delayed in your life because your present is not prepared for it. Y'all not going to help me. That's all right. The thing that may be delaying the provision, the promise, the level that you're called to is the mismanagement of the level you're presently on. And while we're declaring it, marching, yelling, prophesying it to come, if where we are is mismanaged, we will never, ever experience the promise of the better thing. So I'm in the 37th chapter. Let's read a little bit. First, verse 1, the hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of a valley. Hear me, saints. God will oftentimes speak to you in your lowest place. This is a valley experience. This is Ezekiel being spoken to, but he's being brought to a very low place. Sometimes we have to get in our lives to a place where we are positioned to hear. Ezekiel is placed in the middle of this valley. Watch verse 2. And he caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in this open valley, hundreds, probably thousands, probably multiple thousands of bones scattered throughout this valley. And it says, and they were very dry. Keep in mind, saints, dryness of bone doesn't happen overnight. It's process. The condition of this valley didn't just happen yesterday. It is progressive. The situations that many of us are in didn't happen just yesterday. It happened over a series of days, months, and possibly years. Ezekiel says, I saw and I witnessed them bones. Them dry bones. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, you know. And again he said unto me, prophesy. Prophesy over what you see. Speak over what you see. And say to them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, upon these bones, watch the language, upon these bones, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. And I will put sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you. And you shall live, and you shall know that I am the Lord. So Friday morning I came in here and I began to prophesy over bones. First of all, before I get to the bones, let's take for a moment and consider the background. For in this background, we should ask a couple of questions. First of all, who are these folks that have perished in this valley? Who are they? Because that's what I would ask. See, I would ask the question. I would say, well, God, who are these folk? God answers this in verse 11. He said, these are the bones of the whole house of Israel. They are the house. They are a representation of the house. Keep in mind, as Ezekiel is prophesying this was a time of captivity. It was a time where the people of God had been put into captivity, and they were under the heavy hand of the Babylonians. And in their time of captivity, there was a great perishing. But what happened to them would be my next question. If I understand who they are, my next question is what happened to them. Understand that they didn't perish because of a war. They didn't perish because of a famine. I'm just trying to give you some background to this major prophet. They didn't perish because of a great Gentile power like the Babylonians. It wasn't the Babylonians that put them in captivity. It was their own self-will that put them in captivity. Because no Gentile power had authority over the people of God. But their selfishness, their self-will, their desire to sin was greater than their desire to please God.